Hello, podcast world! Welcome back to Two for the Road. I am Aaron, one half of your co-hosts, and this is
Andy, the other half.
Perfect. You may notice that there is not the sound of the bar behind me tonight. Now, the reason behind that is we did record this on the 2nd of May, and unfortunately we had technical issues and we are re-recording tonight.
We got about 29 minutes or so after I'd edited it, because obviously it started from the beginning, edited down, and then when I cut it to about 29 minutes, went on to the next bit, and yeah, it sounded like we were underwater, like we did in the very first one that we had to re-record right here, which is in my living room at my dining table.
Which is funny because we are actually due to record episode 6 in like 2 weeks, so I think we might have to push that to, for the first time ever, into the second week of June, just to give us a bit of time.
Well, funny you mention that, because I booked a Monday, Tuesday off in June, and I think it is maybe the second Sunday. I think the first Sunday in June is like the second or first or something, so... Yeah.
And then we'll go back to the first after, So, obviously, we are here, and obviously... we have had this conversation, but we're going to do it again for you guys. Obviously, Andy, how was your April?
Pretty good. I said in the one that we recorded up at Pinky's that sounded alright to begin with, that I had thought in the lead up to recording that of noting down what I'd done in April, and I hadn't. And you know what? I thought that again yesterday or the other day. I haven't again. Because, I remember when we were at school sitting by the goalposts at the old Wembley at school doing my physics homework at lunchtime, so nobody can be really shocked by this.
Fair enough. I was going to say, so...
Oh yeah, I never answered your question.
No, you didn't.
It was good.
Yeah. Anything stand out in April? Now, I know it's a long time ago because we're now almost at the end of May.
Yeah. What are we on, the 23rd today?
Yeah.
I've got a feeling it's Mike Brown that we went to school with. I've got a feeling it's his birthday today.
Oh, okay.
I seem to remember being at one birthday of his, I think it was probably like his 16th or 17th or something. Got a funny feeling it was the 23rd of May. Anyway,
April.
It was pretty good. Can't remember much because I didn't actually sit down and recall. You know what, I'll look at my calendar and... obviously we were at Graham's the week before we recorded the failed one, and that was brilliant. We had a great night there. I'm sure you'll agree.
Yeah.
And we had the added bonus of Little R being with us. That's
correct. And I was going to say, you're looking at your phone. Is this just to remind yourself what you did in April?
Yeah, basically. I've got the 5th when I was in Kettle, but we discussed that in the last episode because we recorded it the day after.
Yep.
I was there in work, and did I do anything on Easter weekend? I don't think I did. I don't think I did anything in April at all until we went to Graham's, which was technically actually the 2nd of May. So April, I think, probably was pretty boring.
Obviously, April for me, we went to Decon, which was something Laura was really looking forward to. And
that was the day we recorded, before we recorded the last episode as well.
That's right.
Because that was the day I was in Dundee with Mum, was it not?
Yes, it was. So Decon was obviously fun, and then obviously the Grand National, massive win, which was amazing. It helped a lot of people. Then obviously having a quick look at that, I have now seen Thunderbolts, which obviously, to let everyone know, is an absolutely amazing movie. It deals with very complex mental health issues and brings them to light in a way I think a lot of people can respond to, and gives some people maybe some situations and characters they can relate to. I could probably get away with that now as well, seeing as it's been like 3 or 4 weeks it's been out. But I gave it a solid 8 out of 10. I absolutely loved it. I will watch it again, and I thought it was just a great movie. Obviously we had success all round in the horse racing, all my guys, because almost pretty much every tip that I gave came in, 40 to 1s left, right and centre, 20 to 1s, lots of people winning money, me winning hardly anything, it's because I don't do it. So it's been pretty cool month. I was going to say, with regards to that there, obviously we've got the wedding coming up, few things finalised there, which has been good news. I think obviously one of the things we addressed in the last one, and I suppose we'll do it now, is my son and daughter, SNL. Obviously I would really love to have them at the wedding, as we know, but obviously I spoke to their godparents about this, and they put it to me away. So I want it to be very clear, I would love for both my children to be there and meet their little sister who they've not met, but as pointed out to me from my good friends and their godparents, was that both SNL haven't met their little sister, haven't met their future stepmom, and they've not seen their family for such a long time that it would be such a huge thing for them, and I'd never actually taken that perspective of it. I just need them to know I love them, and obviously we want them there, but we also understand that we're not it's an all round difficult situation, but
absolutely, and they were right. It would be overwhelming.
Yes,
it would obviously be great from everybody that's going to be there's perspective, because
everyone misses them.
Like you say, we all miss them, but for them it would more than likely be massively overwhelming. Yeah,
and I think the key thing here is that I kind of look at it, and I obviously it's an amazing day that's coming up, and I cannot wait to marry Laura. But when it comes to SNL, I miss them every single day. I love them. I always think about them every day, and they have a dad who misses and loves them very much, and that this day will be different because they're not there, but we will always have a place for them in our family. They will always be welcome, and they just need to know that their dad loves them. But obviously with regards to that, we have had hen nights organised, we have stags organised.
Getting there.
Obviously there was a little bit of stag drama, but it's sorted in a good way. It just if we're going to pivot, just keep me up to date, basically. is understandable. I don't need to know anything. I don't actually know anything, although from what I understand I've been pretty good at deciphering a lot.
Oh really?
Yeah. Well, I tell you what I deciphered.
No, because you know I'm not going to give anything.
No, I don't want you to give anything away. I'm not asking you to. I've already said to Brian.
Although, in fairness, seeing the one when we discussed this the last time in the kind of the failed recording of episode 5, I think I said that we were having a high tea and we were having scones and jam and shit, and even at that point you went, that sounds lovely.
So since the engagement, I made it very clear to everyone I wanted to go away for a weekend to a lodge just for my best friends, even if it was a few of them, and a barbecue. I have since found out that's definitely not happening now, and that's okay, and I trust the guys to come up with an amazing day for me, and I'm looking forward to it. But if we were going to pivot, as I pointed out, if I'm showing up with my suitcase ready for a whole weekend and I'm getting told, oh no, we're coming back, and it's like a day, there's maybe a little bit of expectation there that needed to be set. So that was all. It does, and I get that probably sounds very selfish, but and I don't want to know what's going on. I trust all my best men to, and on top of that there as well, it'll be a very, very good day. But I think that's the most drama we've had on it, isn't it?
It's the only, really.
Yeah, hen nights and stag nights.
I suppose there has been a few people that haven't been either groom or best men that have been clamouring for information when we didn't really have it quite a bit, and there was a bit of pressure put on to get some information out there.
Oh yeah,
and make some decisions.
Yeah, no, because that even started hitting me, and I'm like, I don't know anything. I don't know.
Yeah, plans were being worked on and ideas were being spitballed, and then there was a lot of just tell us now what we're doing.
Yep, that sounds about right. And that is why me and Laura obviously have complete control on our wedding.
Yeah, because you know what's happening.
Yes, it's the way we want it. But yeah, it's just looking forward to that now. Obviously, we've got meetings with the venue coming up. Yeah, we've had a meeting with the videographers, which I hadn't had the last time we recorded this. So yeah, obviously we did talk about my birthday because
yeah, because it was like about a week or so before.
Yeah, but
at the time.
But then, do we talk about that on the next podcast, or do we take that away now? Because obviously I'm now 41.
Well, yeah, and so let's talk about it.
Yeah, so I am going to Aintree with with my oldest friend and one of my best friends. We are going down to see if I can guess 7 in a row with the Grand National. What I would say is that it's going to be a crazy day. It's a gift that I had never thought beyond belief. And then another gift that was given on my birthday is I have a very small percentage share in a racehorse now as well. So yeah, I am a proud 1% shareholder in a racehorse, which is phenomenal. And I got a Wrexham top. So,
giving Billy Mitchell vibes with the 1% thing. Remember when I think it was initially Steve Owen owned the club and Billy had like 1% in it,
yeah.
And he was all giving it large. I've got 1% in the club.
Yeah. Well, this is the funny thing is that 1% basically means that when he comes locally, which he will, I get an owner's badge even with my 1%, and I get to sit in the owner's box. Best way to describe it is that when you see all those TV adverts on telly where it's like donate £5 and sponsor this or that, it's basically the same thing. I have a 1% share, which basically means that I get bugger all back for it, but I get to show up and act like what Billy did in EastEnders, and like, oh fuck it, Billy
Big. You have a mountain goat in Tibet, but this one races and it comes to Scotland. Yeah,
I get to be Billy Big Boss at the races, basically. I get to have a owner's badge and sit in a cool box, and I get updates and everything on it, which is pretty cool. But the main thing for me is I'm looking to learn about how it all works, because one day when I'm much, much older, I would love to officially own outright my own racehorse. So this is the start of me and probably a 20-year campaign of learning how it all works. Fees, meeting people, connections, things like that. And this gift that I was given is probably the best thing for that, because I'm now going to learn a little bit about how it all works behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I'm already talking to people because of this year, because of that, and it's brilliant. Like, honestly, it was between Aintree and this is like best birthday ever. So
you already know more about horses than I do. All I know is they like polo mints. I remember when my granddad used to stay in Kettle. My granddad used to take me and my cousins up. There were some horses across the road, and he used to take us to see them, and he would always make sure we had polo mints, because we used to like lift your hand up and the horse would just be like, oh, polos. Yep. Scoffing it out your hand. It was brilliant. We were all about 7, 8, 9, 10 at the time.
Well, oddly enough, again, something we didn't talk about before, but Perth has an amazing race course, and in July there's a family race day thing. So kids go free, and there's big face painting, jumping castles, everything like that. So little R wants to go see the horses. So
I'd want to go for the bouncy castle myself.
Yeah. So for adults it's £20, but you're more than welcome to join us in July. But yeah, we're going to go up, and obviously there'll be races on that day as well. And she can go see them in the paddock with me, and it'll just be a fun day. But apparently that's quite local. And then 2 weeks later, it's actually Perth Comic Con.
Oh, nice.
So, like, Perth in the space of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But thankfully it's only, 20 minutes up, 30 minutes-ish up the road.
Yeah.
It's not that far away. But yeah, it's been a very, very cool birthday this year for 41. Although I didn't get as many messages as I normally get.
No.
No, you messaged. First person to message was Brian. Second was Pauline, and then it was you.
Yes.
And Bill messaged me a bit later on, and that was it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, and then I did get a message about 2 weeks later from Stin.
Oh, you said that actually when it was down there last week.
And then I got a message yesterday from Ian saying happy birthday, so I'm guessing he thought it was it was a few weeks late. I was like, heart.
Yeah.
so yeah, I got a couple of late ones, but I was like, okay. But it kind of happens when you hit our age. It just, you just like, fair enough, we're hitting that.
And of course, a lot of people these days are more on like Facebook, wish you a happy birthday that way, rather than messaging you directly.
And as we know,
of course, you're not on.
I'm not on social media.
So that's probably why a lot of people, probably for like Ian, if you were on Facebook, Ian probably would have seen it that day.
Yeah.
If he's on Facebook, I imagine he is.
I to be honest with you, that's probably the most healthiest thing I ever did over a year ago now, was coming off social media. I feel so much better for it. Like I have a Facebook Messenger, but I don't have Facebook. I've even stopped my Instagram again because I did have it briefly for a bit. Just stopped it all. And yeah, I think that there is a liberation for social media.
Said that when the whole Facebook thing took off, he was just steadfast and he was like, nah, that's not for me, I'm not getting into that. And fair play to him. I mean, when I very first got it was when I was down in London, and it was more for work, to be fair. If people were wanting to message me, or if I was trying to message people, find out about shows or whatever, then yeah, that's why I first had it. And to be fair, I've never been one to be on it that often. I go on first thing in the morning to check the memories, see what I was up to X amount of years ago, and on that day. But other than that, it's only ever if I'm bored. Like at the weekend, if I'm sat on like a Sunday night or whatever else, but then I'll get 5 minutes in and think, most of this isn't even anyone I know, it's just all adverts and shite. So I end up just trolling through Wikipedia and going on random I was reading about Rastafarianism the other week, just because
good topic to learn.
I stumbled upon it on I was on another page. It's like that Kevin Bridges show where he's like, and I'm on this, and this is in blue, so I went in that. It was basically one of those. And then I read loads about Rastafarianism.
Nice.
Lots that I didn't know, of course.
Nice. Yeah.
Always fun to learn new things.
Oh yeah, 100%. What was I going to say? So, actually there was another thing that I did. Grandad Bell had his art show again this year. And I commissioned him to do a drawing.
What of?
I'm not going to tell you now. I'm going to wait to another podcast. We'll come back to it in another podcast once it's done.
If it was me, it would have been a squirrel, obviously.
Yeah, no, I get that. But I don't think you'll be surprised when you see it. But yeah, my artist granddad is doing this for me. So I've showed him what I want, and I know that he is 100% doing it. So we'll see what it turns out like. I as you know, I have his art on my wall already because I have the really good ones that he did there. He's an amazing artist. Gets a lot of commissions and things for when he does his shows. I can't believe that. One thing I'll give Grandad Bell is that man's 80 this week and he's away with my parents. Right, went away to Australia for 3 or 4 months there with my gran, and he come back and he was already up on the roof fixing the slates and stuff for the wind that had happened in the January. He has just built an outside decking in his, and it's not just like, when I say decking, this is like a 25-30 metre decking. Yeah, like it's huge. In his 80s, and he's built this all by himself. Man is, yeah, like, fair play to him. Because at 40, I didn't have that energy. So, fuck knows. I'm absolutely, but yeah, he retired when I was in fucking high school, I think, because at that point you could retire when you're 50. So yeah, and basically,
No, as we work until we're about 92.
yeah, no, I'm never going to see a fucking pension, mate. But he has pretty much been retired as long as I can remember, and he goes and does his Tai Chi classes, he does his art, he does all these like little side hustles on top of his pension, and I'm like, fair play to you, man. Like, he's just got like just getting on with life.
Yeah.
Goes off to Australia, India,
What do you
travels the world, and you're sitting there like, like, I'm never going to get that in my lifetime. But
You never know, maybe your horse will win loads of races or something.
This horse will probably win a good couple of races just based on the trainer. But well, in perspective, I actually did say at the start of this year that 2025 and 2026 were going to be huge years. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
So let's.
Well, we can agree you said that. Whether they are or not, I guess we'll find it.
Well, what I would say is we started a podcast in January.
We did.
Went and saw Paul Smith in Glasgow in February.
You did.
Yeah, but might not be the biggest thing there. In March, started my Monjaro journey.
You did.
Yep.
It's had a wee wobble, but it's been overall pretty good.
Yeah, we're £60 lost so far, which is pretty good. And
what's that in old money?
4 and a bit stone. Basically £5 a week is an average 12 weeks in. And then there's something else in March. What else did we do in March?
Well, I'll get my calendar back out.
Something else happened in March that's quite big. Anyway, gets to April, helped countless people win thousands and thousands of pounds with horse racing tips, and signed up to the WCB as I promised.
You did.
Yeah. May, going to Aintree, got gifted a share in a racehorse. What the fuck's going to happen in June? It's like, because there's a wedding and a stag and everything else in there, and then an actual boxing fight. So to finish off,
that's what
charity
September and November.
Yeah.
So we need to do something spectacular this month. No, we're still in May. Next month, July and October.
Yeah, that's what I'm just pointing out, that there's some big swings in there, and then obviously there's Aintree in April next year. You're on your phone.
I am. I'm looking at my calendar.
There is something else in March. We did something else in March, not just the Manjaro, but there was something. I'm convinced.
March, I was obviously in Dundee on the 1st. We did the podcast on the 2nd. I think we went out on the Friday, the 7th. I have that in my calendar anyway. We were thinking about going to Kettle on the 15th on the Saturday, but we never.
Jim, I've got down here, Jim. Right, wait a minute. Yeah, January started podcast with one of my best friends. February saw Paul Smith live. March started my Manjaro journey in the gym. April had my second biggest win in the Grand National and helped others win thousands. May signed up to the WCB for a big fight, and obviously for my birthday, horse share and going to Aintree the following year, and a Wrexham top, and now we're going into June.
We did on the last Friday in March have a cracking night in Pinkies with Murdoch and his wife and Alex and Fraser.
Yeah, it's probably one of my best nights I've had in Pinkies.
That was a brilliant night, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. And then I suppose really as well, like, randomly we had a night where it was just me, you and Sarah this year, which, let's be honest, the stars
I'd been up at Mum's that day. I think I was putting blinds up and stuff, and then that was it, because she had been messaging about Mum did a buffet for her mum.
That's right.
And then I'd said, you were coming down that night after Mum dropped me off. You were coming down to see me, and she was like, "Well, I'll come down and see you guys too," which was lovely.
Yeah, who'd have thought those stars would have aligned? It was nice.
It was a really good night. Let's see if I'm working. Yes, actually, and a lot more prominently than before. So the game is actually now working. It does appear to be picking me up fine.
We have fixed the software issues part 2.
Part fucking 15 at this point.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
It's getting there. So, I thought I was going to say that with regards to movies, is there anything coming up that you're looking forward to?
Well, we're skipping over the United being shite talk.
Let's go for it. I know we did record it and you didn't seem so keen, so I thought, well, I pivot.
Well, we recorded it, but not so well. It didn't come out great, so we had to rejig some settings, and yeah, it was maybe a saving grace, because yes, United have been shit, and yes, we did lose the Europa League final on Wednesday night.
To Ange, who always gets a trophy in his second season.
Apparently so. Well, not apparently, he definitely
does.
bloody does. And to be fair, yeah, obviously I was gutted that we didn't win, as always, although I am getting used to it these days. But I was chuffed for him, because he's taken a lot of flack since he said that in, what was it, like November or something?
Yep.
And he only went and did it. So, fair play to the boy.
Man, his word. I think as well that, you know, you look at the injuries that he's had, the young team and everything, and all the problems and stuff that came along with that job, and he's managed to get them Champions League football. He's got them their first trophy in 4 decades?
No, first European trophy in 4 decades, first trophy in 17 years.
Right.
Still though.
Yeah. And I mean, you then look at your team, and
yes,
there has to be a huge overhaul there, overhaul.
Of course there does, and like I said to you before, though, it's not that easy of just getting rid of half the players and getting in another half a team. No.
Are you sure?
Well, no, people are on contracts. It depends on who wants to sign certain players, who's actually wanting to go, who's wanting to stay and fight for their place. There's a whole load of factors involved, so you can't just have one summer transfer window and go,
get rid of them.
Right, this is a Ruben Amorim team now. I mean, when Ole took over, he still had players from Fergie, from Mourinho, and from Moyes, from Van Gaal, and you can't just all of a sudden overnight it's an Ole team. I bloody wish it was. Obviously, I wish we never got rid of him. He was the only manager since Ferguson that I've seen what he's been trying to do. I kind of see it a wee bit with Amorim, but it's obviously not having the desired effect yet. Hopefully they have a bit of faith with him and stick with him and allow him to actually get there to the point where he's doing it his way with his players, and see if it does work. And obviously if it doesn't at that point, then look elsewhere. Hopefully see if Ole's kicked a bit.
Yeah, it's like, I'm obviously being a Rangers fan, it's like, I get where you're coming from. It's like watching giants fall, and these were the teams we grew up with that just looked like absolute legends, and they just don't look the same anymore. I'm kind of hoping Rangers are about to change that now with the big buyout that happened and everything, all the investment that's come in, but I feel like Man U are a wee bit away from that.
Yeah, hugely, and it's just since 12 years ago now that Ferguson retired, and I've said it so many times, there should have been a bit of overlap, or if there could have been. I mean, obviously when Ferguson retired, David Gill left at the same time. He'd been the chief exec for years, and it was all of a sudden everything's just gone, everything's brand new. If there was a bit of overlap, I feel like maybe if David Gill had been able to stay for another year and maybe guide Moyes in his first season, that would have helped, I think. But I mean, hindsight's 2020, yeah.
2020. And Fergie now likes to go and play his golf and race his horses.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got Caldwell Potter.
He's earned that.
Yeah, Cheltenham. Like, you know, he's every time I see Ferguson now, it's racing. So,
he was at the Europa League final on Wednesday.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was. Him and David Gill were there, actually.
I did know that Murray was going to message you. Did Murray message
you? He did, yeah. He messaged me during the day. I'd gone out, I think it was at lunchtime or something. I was obviously on the late shift on Wednesday. And I think I'd gone out at lunch and I checked my phone. I had a missed call from a number that I didn't recognise. And then I seen it, the same number had messaged me on WhatsApp, and I'm like, it's obviously somebody I know then. And it turned out it was Murray. He was like, where are you watching the game tonight? I was like, well, I'm on the late shift, so I'm going to miss part of it anyway. So just at home, as soon as I get home, I'm sticking the game on.
Yeah,
and he was like, yeah, I don't think they're even showing it in Pinkies.
Yeah, I did say to him, I was like, it's a school night. Andy doesn't go out on school nights.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, but try, because he had said, but obviously the night of the Man U game, I was at Mission Impossible, so I missed it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it's
kind of wish I'd missed it.
I did get the update, like it pinged on my phone to tell me what had happened, and I thought, to be fair, I actually kind of, that was my outcome I wanted, to see them. And I think as well that I hope that Tottenham invest and let Ange bring in some player if he's still there, because they're still talking him losing his job, which is mental. But I think as well that there's just too much building to go on at Man U, and I also think it might be quite good for you to not have that.
Not have Champions League. And many people have said, I've thought it as well, it could, particularly if he does, and surely he will. There's a lot of talk about Matheus Cunha coming from Wolves. There's lots of talk about maybe Liam Delap from Ipswich. But it's United. There's always talk about everybody.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I've not been linked with them yet this summer. And the transfer window's not even open.
Yeah.
United get constantly linked with everybody, so yeah. We'll see who actually comes through the door. But the fact that he will be able to have mostly full weeks to actually have them on the training ground at Carrington and try and implement his style a bit more.
Yeah. I think I showed you the other thing that, and I know you appreciate this, is that I finally got the Mighty Ducks trilogy on Apple. Is going to introduce Little R to them.
Nice.
I think she's going to. I kind of tried it last year where try to show her them, and she kind of liked the first-ish one, but it was kind of like it was more like she was getting to watch it with her dad as opposed to anything else. So I kind of feel like if we go back and revisit it, maybe this year or towards the end of this year, that she might be a little bit more receptive to it.
Hopefully. I mean, obviously I loved those films growing up. Second one for me was the best one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the second one's hands down. Like, they're not bad in any way at all. Like, they're all really good, but the second one just peaks, I think, like to the others.
That is peak Ducks.
Yeah, that's peak Ducks. And then obviously the other film I bought then was Remember the Titans, which is.
Was that not your recommendation in episode 1, if I remember correctly? Oh no, that was The Replacements.
The Replacements.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington as Coach.
I've still never seen that.
Have you not?
No.
Oh, dude, you should watch it. But you don't have access to my Apple account. You have access to my Google account, not my Apple one.
It's maybe on the movies thing that I've got with.
You got Disney Plus?
Yeah.
It's on Disney Plus.
Oh well, yeah, I can watch it on that.
Yeah.
You know I won't, but
no. I was going to say no. You never. Anytime I thought, although we did get an announcement today that Scrubs is coming back, which I sent to you.
You did, yeah. That didn't read like it was an announcement though. That read more like rumours.
No, as in Zach Braff has signed on.
Oh really?
Yeah, no, Zach Braff is there.
Oh, well that's interesting.
He's the only one that's signed back on so far, but you could assume that. But I said this to Stin, and I said this to you way back in December. I remember I saw a video of John McGinley with Will Lawrence's wife, who plays his wife in Scrubs. And he was having a go at her in the restaurant, a joking go. It wasn't like that. It was obviously deliberate, filmed for Instagram at the time. And basically, he had said, "Oh, what's this about the guy who's playing her husband in Shrinking being your best TV husband?" And she was like, "Oh, I was only joking." Da, 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 da. And then they actually both turned and said that they were going to be playing husband and wife again very, very soon. And I remember telling you that Scrubs is coming back.
Yeah.
And then to hear that they've actually now signed on Zach Braff is like awesome, because it means that that's probably the person they probably have the most difficulty getting back. So the fact they've got him now, I think, it's like they wouldn't be signing contracts if it wasn't coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
So Scrubs is on its way back.
Which would be nice. I mean, obviously I only watched it for the first time this year, but I'd be excited if it came back.
Yeah, Buffy's back. Buffy
Really?
is officially... Sarah Michelle Gellar has a new chosen one, and Willow's coming back at least as well.
Nice.
So next year, 2026 is going to be mental. Scrubs and Buffy all coming back together.
If they bring Lost back, that would just be the best thing ever.
See-
I know they can't, but
So my biggest concern with Buffy at the moment, and I know my friend Mark, who is just as big a fan as me, our concern obviously is that this was Josh Whedon's baby. He may be a dick, but you worry about anyone else taking the reins because...
Is he a dick now?
Oh, Josh Whedon's a dick, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as much as I appreciate the work he's done, he's a knob.
Fair enough.
But you then kind of have the issue of if somebody else takes the reign, do they change what do they change and how many people are coming back and do they go... People don't really want the new characters, they want the old characters. Does that, like, when you watch Buffy, you're not going to watch Buffy for this new girl that they've hired. You want that girl to be working with our old characters. And I think this is where a lot of the new shows, when they bring them back and they don't work, is because they completely 180 it and the old characters are just sidelined.
Yeah, they're bringing it back for the name, rather than the people who were in it, who actually got you watching it in the first place.
The fact that Alison Hannigan and Sarah Michelle Gellar are all in New York promoting it right now, the fact that David Boreanaz and James Masters and things are all there, gives me a little bit of hope.
Was James Masters the one that played Spike?
Yes.
He was brilliant. I never actually watched Buffy, but I remember Gav, and Gav's mum loved it. So I've seen it a few times when I was up at theirs.
Yeah.
And I always liked him. He was always a good character.
Well, the second they announced the new girl, which is a pretty cool video if you ever get a chance to see it, David Boreanaz, who played Angel, actually congratulated her on things, and he's actually quite active on all the others' social media as well, which kind of implies he's going to be coming back.
Yeah.
There's a video of James Masters at a con, and he just gets right then asked outright, and he pretty much goes full Andrew Garfield, which he's like, yeah, so he's coming back, and then you've got this, Alison Hannigan and Sarah Michelle Gellar out doing press. I suppose the difficulty you've got is that Anthony Head, who played Giles, is pretty close with Josh Whedon, so he might not come back. I hope he does. And then you've got the issues with Nicholas Brendan, who's had a lot of issues in real life, but there's a part of me as well that kind of feels like it wouldn't be the same without Xander. So
What about Seth Green?
Yeah, you could probably get him. Well, he's pretty close with Sarah Michelle Gellar and everyone anyway, so there's a chance that if the story fits. See, I don't think his story probably fits there, but Willow and Buffy coming back potentially without Xander doesn't fit as well. But that's what I'm saying. There's a couple of... I'm very much you know how big it's my favourite TV series of all time. So
it's your Lost.
It's my Lost, yeah. And I am a little bit worried, but I am also optimistic with the team behind it. And I'm one of these. I'm at this point where I'm like, right, okay, I'm gonna just wait to see how this plays out. Like, if they completely fuck it and just like have all these characters in and then disappear and it's a whole bunch of new people and it's a whole new show, then I'm probably going to hate it. But we will see. This is the problem. Like, a show that got it right was Dexter. Like, they totally fluffed their original ending to the series, brought it back with Michael C. Hall as Dexter still being alive, and they made a great series. And now I'm worried that they're going to muck up that bring back because they've then decided to do another fucking follow-up.
To Dexter?
Yeah, so
I watched the first maybe series and a half of that and I liked it, but I just never then took it any further.
Dexter season 4 with John Lithgow is probably one of the best seasons of television, and he is probably one of the best.
I remember Stin saying though it became by the end very formulaic. It was just the same formula every week, and there was nothing to really keep you interested or invested. He said, in fairness, he watched it like back to back. He binged it, so it might have been a bit skewed there, but
he's right. When Dexter ended after 8 seasons, it had one of the poorest endings ever, and then 2 years ago they brought back Dexter New Blood, which is quite interesting because when the original series ended, it was, as I say, a very shit ending. So they brought it back, and when they brought it back, the story that played out, without spoiling it for anyone, was actually really, really fucking good, and it was a proper ending to the series.
Aye.
Now 2 years on, we're getting another follow-up to that follow-up, and you're like, no, like that was where you needed to end it. So that's what worries me about Buffy is that Buffy had they landed the ship, like they landed the plane. When you watch the end of Buffy, it's a really good ending. It's done. It's hopeful. It's like, you know, it's sad. It's emotional. It's bittersweet. It's got everything in it that the way they see, like, Buffy has an end. So to bring Buffy back, you worry, and that makes me think of Dexter right now. Is they had a shit ending, they brought it back, and they got a really good fucking ending, and it was so popular. Like 2 years later, we're getting another follow up, and you're like, no, don't do that. So, but I will be optimistic with our Buffy. But June movies, I would say the Karate Kid is coming out. Yeah, I've already saw the post credit scene. It's on TikTok. Yeah, it's got a post credit scene.
Okay.
Yeah, my only social media I do, TikTok. I don't even know you can call it social media. But yeah, somebody somehow managed to get the after credit scene, which pretty cool. But apparently it's only 90 minutes long, the whole film. It's quite short.
Well, by these days, yeah.
And then 28 years later comes out in June. I am being taken by Laura, who I love very, very much, to How to Train a Dragon. I'm sure it'll be good.
Oh, is this? You mentioned this before in one of the episodes. Is this the live action one?
Yeah.
Funnily enough, we were talking about that. I think it was yesterday at work. Me and the guys on my team about the. Oh, get in! This is echoes of episode 1.
Yeah.
Still be enjoying this. I've got Sky Sports News on. And it's it's not the last day of Serie A, but tonight Napoli and Inter Milan are playing, and basically Napoli are ahead by 1 point in Serie A, and if they win the league obviously, and Scott McTominay has just scored for them to put them 1-0 up. And I noticed earlier on when I come back in, after we'd had a wee break when I went out for a smoke, the Inter were 1-0 up, so we really needed that goal. And I'm so glad that it's Scott McTominay that's got it.
Biggest travesty that ever happened to Man U is getting rid of him.
Certainly one of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
Anyway, see, they're still 1-0 up. De Vries scored 20th minute. Anyway, but McTominay scored, so it doesn't matter. What were we talking about?
How to Train a Dragon?
Yeah, no, we're talking about live action remakes of proper classic. We were having the conversation about Disney films. And I was saying I've never actually really watched any of them. Because how can you improve on what's come before? The only one I've kind of seen is the Aladdin one. Because it was on one Christmas. And
Aladdin one was okay. Cinderella.
I loved
the live action Cinderella was very good.
Well, I loved the animated Aladdin. And I loved the animated Cinderella. Like, why try and outdo that? It's
the live action Cinderella is actually a very good companion to the animation one.
Really?
Yeah, Aladdin is probably in the top 3 of the live action remakes. Lion King, you kind of look at it and you think, why? I
think that was what started the discussion, was the Lion King one, which I've not seen, as I say. I've not even seen any of them, but Aladdin was on in the background, and
Mufasa live action just ruined, again, what we're talking about when when we were saying you bring back a series and things. The Mufasa prequel completely fucks up the mythology, in my opinion.
Oh, really?
Yep. But I'm not going to spoil that. Like, watch it for yourself. It's by far not a horrible movie, but it's just, you sit there and you go, it tries to do stuff with certain Mufasa and Scar, and you're like,
just why though? I mean, you've got perfection already there.
Yep.
And I get why, it's obviously money, but just no.
Yeah.
Don't tinker with it. It's already perfect. Leave it alone.
Yeah. I think, but
come up with some new stories. That's the problem.
Yeah,
Clearly.
well, Laura's mum put the new Snow White on the other week we were up, and we all said the same. It's just horrible. Like,
Aye.
as I say, Cinderella is probably the best live action one I've seen that Disney did. Aladdin is okay, but I'd say all the others, like we really wanted to like the Little Mermaid remake, the live action. It was just a bad movie.
Again, it's the fact that what it's coming after and what it's trying to replicate.
Beauty and the Beast, that was good.
Really?
Live, I liked it. Yeah, Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. I would say that's your top 3 live action ones that Disney did.
I'm not going to watch any of them because why would I need to? I've already got the best version. I don't think you can top the animated versions.
Fair enough. No, it'd be like somebody telling me they're going to remake Jaws. Like,
exactly. It'd be like somebody going, "Oh, Andy, you say they're remaking Godfather Part 1? No. Why? It's already the best film ever made.
Yeah, it's just things that don't
you
get
can't
touched.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. There's plenty of gangster movies that could be made. There's no reason to touch The Godfather. There's plenty of shark movies and stuff coming out. You don't need to touch Jaws. Like, leave things the way they are. I think there's a thing in the industry where people just have crazy fucking ideas, but then I suppose there's people that come up thinking, I grew up on these movies, I'd like to go and remake them or do a sequel or things.
It's, again, I think I touched on it when we were talking about series coming back. It's the name. People try to capitalise on the name and make money on that, and what you're doing is possibly tarnishing the legacy of something great that maybe they have grown up on, as you said, and why would you do that?
Yeah, I think for me, I kind of take a look at it and I think there's a couple of films that if they were coming out, I just wouldn't. But then, for instance, 28 years later that we were talking about comes in a few weeks. Like, I look at 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. I enjoyed both those films, but I could see how they could do a sequel. Like, it makes sense. Like, I'm on board with that.
Sequel's fine.
Yeah,
they're not trying to remake the original.
Yeah, although there was 2 trailers. Mark told me about one of them at the barbecue, and the other one.
Oh yeah, I heard him mention that.
Yeah, so the first one that I saw was called Weapons, and it was for the guy that did Barbarian, and it just creeped the hell out of me, the trailer. I'm not even going to tell anyone about it, just if you get a chance, go look at the trailer for Weapons. Like, I will be there. I think it's the only film I'll go see in August. I'll probably go on a Monday night when I know there's going to be loads of people in the theatre, so I'm not sitting there on my Todd, creeped the fuck out. And then the second one's a Stephen King one called The Long Walk, and it was Mark that told me about it. And then Cole, oddly enough, said about it at work. So basically, there's this. It looks like it's potentially the 50s or 60s. It could be totally wrong there, but people take part in what they call the long walk, and they have to walk 3 miles per hour. And basically, if you fall or drop behind, then you're killed, basically. And they're walking across America, and whoever's the last one standing wins this amazing prize, apparently. And the trailer just looks intense as hell. Like, and every single person now that I know that's seen it is like, that looks. Cole said to me he felt like I had like Hunger Games vibes. I kind of get that. Mm-hmm. Whereas Mark obviously said it just looked good, and I kind of have to agree with him. When I watched it, I thought, wow, okay, that actually does.
Don't we on average walk 4 miles an hour anyway?
I think that's the point, because they're not allowed to stop, even sleep.
Right, okay, so I take it it's a long endurance thing.
Yeah, and it's whoever's left at the end.
Right, okay.
But you see people obviously getting, like, it's a horror movie, but it looks. I was like, I'd really kind of gone off horror the last 10 years, but I think that kind of happens once you hit your 30s. I suppose most people I speak to said the same thing, but
I went off it when I was about 12, and the first horror movie I watched, it came across to me more like a comedy. I didn't get it.
yeah,
I remember watching The Exorcist, the original, at Craig's. We were doing like a sleepover. I think it was me, Stu, Craig, and Mike, and we watched The Exorcist, and I just found it so funny. I don't know. It didn't. Obviously, I wasn't the target audience. It wasn't on my wavelength. It wasn't made for me.
Yeah.
Because that was probably not the reaction that the filmmakers were going for.
yeah, understandable.
Yeah. So, but yeah, horror's never a genre I've really been into. It's never really it's not on my wavelength.
Yeah, as I say, for me, I definitely probably will. I'll be checking out 28 Years Later, and obviously I'll check out those two as well. Weapons, as I say, I'll probably go one of the Monday nights to the Kino Cinema, but probably if I don't, then obviously I'll catch it when it comes out. But I'll definitely go to see The Long Walk. Like, that looks... I'd imagine Mark will be going with me. That's what it sounds it.
Sounds up his alley.
Yeah, and I know that he's wanting to go see Formula 1, but he actually wants to go see it in IMAX, so I might have to go to the dreaded cinema for that one. The one that our friend doesn't own.
Did he not say that's not proper IMAX though?
Try to explain that to Mark. Mark just wants to go see it on the biggest screen with the loudest sound.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Which I get, he's a big Formula 1 fan, so I'll be there with Marky boy. But yeah, should we do our song and our movie?
I will not be there because, as we mentioned in the very first episode, I really don't like Formula 1.
Yeah, you also don't really go to the cinema very often.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I wanted to apologise because I caught myself on a lie when I was re-listening to what we'd recorded before that went belly up. I had said that the last time I went to the cinema was to see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Uh-huh.
That was a lie.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because I was sitting watching Sky Sports News last night and an advert came on for The Wild Robot. And of course that was the last film I went to see. Yeah. Did we not go and see that in like October or something?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We
Me,
did.
you, Laura and Little R.
Yes, we did.
So yeah, technically that was the last film I was at the cinema to see. Which was a great film.
Not technically a lie, just a misunderstanding and forgetful.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's technically a lie, because I said Deadpool and Wolverine was the last film I was at the cinema to see, and it wasn't. But yeah.
We're old. Like, there was no maliciousness in that.
Obviously.
It's,
I'm virtually incapable of lying. When I catch myself doing one, even unintentionally, I have to apologise for it and point it out.
Yeah, guilt gets you. I'm the same. As you that little pain in your tummy. It's like I have to be honest. Well, so it's come to the end of the show. It's a bit shorter than normal, but obviously we will not have software issues in June.
Fingers crossed.
Yep. You may have noticed that there is our episodes are all still up, and that is because we are now officially a podcast where our episodes will not be deleted. Everything will stay up, so you can go back and listen to us from the beginning.
Yes.
And I suppose really, just I suppose my. Do you want to start with your music recommendation, Andy?
I suppose so. I'm guessing that's because you're still trying to work out your film one.
I can't remember what I recommended last time.
Well, I remember what I recommended, and I'd mentioned it in episode 4 that, I mean, what was my first 4? I had Griff, then Sigrid, then I think Maisie Peters, then Elio, or Elio, then Maisie Peters. And I think I'd mentioned in episode 4 that anyone that knows me would be surprised that there wasn't a Regina track in there so far. So I did say I would do one, and that it would probably be in the next episode, so let's go with that.
Nice.
I'm going to go with a track by Regina Spektor, and I'm going to go with what is possibly, for me, one of the best songs ever recorded, and it is her song called Better.
Nice. Better.
It was actually used in an episode of, I think it was How I Met Your Mother. And I remember the first time I watched that through, because again, like Scrubs, I was late to the party with that one. And eventually when I watched it through, and then it was the end of the episode, and then Better came on, I welled up. I had tears in my eyes.
Nice.
It's a beautiful song.
Oh, well, Andy, it brought an emotional response out in you. People should definitely listen to that.
Happens occasionally. Very rarely, but it happens occasionally.
The film that I'm going to recommend is, because this was a little bit horsey themed, is Secretariat, starring Diane Lane, and it's all about Big Red, Secretariat, the most famous horse in American horse racing. It's a really good movie. It explains the journey and why Secretariat was so special, how it won the Triple Crown, how its records are still have not been beaten to this day, over 50 years later. Which you would think a modern day horse would be able to beat a horse that was in the 70s, 60s and 70s, but no, it still to this day hits records, and how much it beat its competitors by in the Triple Crown is unbelievable. But it's all about the Diane Lane, who obviously owned him, and what she did to save her family, make this horse as good as it was, and it's a Disney movie, so it's on Disney Plus.
Nice.
So people can watch it, and yeah, it's really, really fun. It'll make you wonder why we've not had a similar movie across here in the UK. But yeah, it's a good movie, good family movie as well. Lara loved it, which is why she's so interested in horses now. Yeah, let's watch Secretariat this week, folk, and you can let me know what you think when you see me.
And then listen to Regina, Better.
And it's going to make us cry.
Well, maybe, you never know. Yeah. You know, the story of how I first got into Regina, I'd been living in Edinburgh, and I'd come back to Glenrothes, and I was basically wondering where I was going next, and I was looking for a job and stuff, and I was staying at Mum and Sam's, and I was flicking through the music channels, and you do the usual, well, back in the day when we watched music channels, you flick through until you find something you know. But I was flicking through and I seen this woman on the screen, and I'd obviously flipped through because I didn't recognise the tune, and then I went, oh, hold on, went back, and I was like, oh my god, she's utterly, like, breathtakingly beautiful. And then I loved the song as well, and then following that, listened to everything she'd released up to that point. This was in the January of 2007, and by the September, I seen her live in London.
Nice. Well, that's a...
And she's in my top 5 artists of all time. In my top 3.
I would never have guessed that.
Yeah. Everybody that knows me knows that. Adore Regina.
Well, obviously we will speak to you again in 2 and a bit weeks at this point, and hopefully we'll have more to talk to you about. More.
And hopefully Napoli will have won the league. I'm very interested in that.
Yeah.
Obviously because they've got McTominay and Gilmore in their midfield. You know, back in the day when they used to have Italian football on TV all the time when we were growing up.
Channel 4.
Yeah.
On a Sunday.
Everybody was always like, oh, what's your Italian team? What's your Italian team? I never really watched it, to be honest.
Did you? Football Italia!
Yeah. Go Lazio and all that.
Go Lazio!
In the end, I just chose Fiorentina.
Aye.
Because of Batistuta, because I loved him.
Yeah, he was a great.
But this season, I've actually been following Italian football because McTominay and Gilmore are at Napoli, and I keep an eye out for their results. And obviously tonight is the league gets decided tonight. It will either be Napoli or Inter, and obviously I hope it's the former.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd like to see the little team do it, because what they've done there has been impressive.
Oh yeah,
and the difference in the cost of the teams as well.
Yeah, and I was reading a story today about, and I've read it throughout the season, how the people in Naples are just so they're taking on board the fact they've got two Scots in their midfield and they're the heartbeat of the team and they're loving it.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, I am going to finish this podcast because I'm going to go home to my future wife and spend some time with her. And I'm going to let you edit away, my good friend.
Yeah, and I'm gonna.
We're kilt shopping next Saturday.
We are, and then we're going to Dunfermline, we're not.
Yes, we might be going to Robert at the Bruce Festival.
Yeah,
Unless it's Pishenden, then that might stop us. But I believe Fraser and Alex are joining us.
Yeah, Fraser was saying that he's up for it, and I'm sure the wee man will be up for it as well. So
yeah, bring it on.
Oh yeah.
So we'll talk about that in the next one.
Well, if I remember, I'm sure you'll remind me.
I'll remind you.
Yeah,
I'll definitely remind you. Well, thank you, folks, and have a good rest of your month.
all that it is that's left of it. Yeah, see you in June, which is like what,
A week.
8 days ago. 8 days away.